I first met our next honoree in Gävle, Sweden, more than 20 years ago. He was a terrific junior. He became a great National Hockey League player. Who's heard of the Triple Gold Club? Who knows what that is? The Triple Gold Club means you've won the Stanley Cup, an Olympic gold medal, and the World Championship. There's about 20, I think it's 28 members now, the Triple Gold Club. I think that's the number up. Yeah. He's done it twice around the track. Great Colorado Avalanche, Olympic champion, world champion, Peter Forsberg. Tell us about Rob Blake.
Well, first, you didn't really like Rob Blake.
Hold on. Who do you like up here?
I really got to like him for a while there. You know, we played when I came in the league and he played in LA there. You know, you always had to look out for him, and you know, fantastic player, both offensively, defensively. But I remember a story when he came to us. He got traded to us in first practice because I was always scared about his shot. So it's a 5-on-3 practice. You remember this? And we had I don't know why I had to stand in front of net, but and I was standing in front of net, and Blakey comes over and said, "Don't worry, I'm not going to shoot that hard. And we're not going to shoot that high." And the first shot you took, it hit a stick and it hit me in the head. So it's kind of funny, but he apologized. But
that was good of you, Rob.
It was nice of him, but it was fantastic to get to play with him. Like I said, he could skate, he could hit, he could everything, and he was a great leader in the dressing room too. So I was very happy to play with him for a few years.
Mike, tell us about Peter Forsberg.
Oh boy, you know, skilled, talented, nasty,
really,
dirty.
Really? Really?
No.
But you know, one of the toughest guys I think I've ever played against. He could do, like Rob, he could do everything well. He was a hard guy to play against. You know, we've been beating those Colorado-Dallas series to death this weekend, but you know, still to this day, those were some of the best series and hockey games I've ever been a part of. But you know, Pete could do it all. He could play any style of game you wanted to play. If you wanted to play mean and dirty and nasty, he could do that. Or if he wanted to kill you one-on-one, beat a couple guys and score a great goal, he could do that too. So he was multi-dimensional, and you know, but you know, we pushed on each other hard because I'd have to face against him. Hitch put me out there every time against Pete, and you know, after a while, he could beat you down and break you.
Dom? Was he really dirty?
Mike
was
sort
he
of
dirty?
describe him with these words, you know. I don't want to repeat them, but you know, if you look at him, he's not so tall, but he was tough. I mean, that's what the defensemen say always. Like, okay, he's not big, but you have no chance to hit him. I don't know his legs, how strong were or are, but he was a tough player. And about Peter, I think he was a complete player. He didn't have any weaknesses. And he could see the ice. He could see his teammates. You know, he always found someone open in better position. If nobody was open, you know, then he made a move. Again, I really enjoyed to see his highlights yesterday on TV. And I faced him many times, especially towards the second part of my career when we were in Detroit, and he scored a few against me. One big one, the game 5. You know, I still remember in the overtime. You know, he went somehow around Chelly and somehow around me, and he put it up high over my right hand. And what else I can say?
Are you over that? Because that was a long time ago, Dom. Like, are you okay? Like, are you okay? Like,
I'm okay.
Oh, you're okay?
You know what? By the way, we won the next 2 games, so I'm over it.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, he's a complete player. That's what I want to say about him.
Billy, now you get to because Peter's talked about you. Now here's your chance to. Pretty intense guy, huh?
Oh, very intense. The all-around player, cheap, dirty. Had to have eyes in the back of your head. No, Peter was. He was always fun to referee because he played the game really hard, as these guys know that played against him. And he had one move that was very, very difficult for an official to judge, and that's what he would go into the corner first, after the puck. He was never afraid to be there first, and he would thrust his body back into the person who was going to check him and knock him down, and then he'd take off with the puck. And it was always a tough judgment to make whether it was interference or not, because the player that was going to compete for the puck never had an opportunity because he was laying on his backside. So whether or not that was a penalty
Sounds
or
fine
not,
to me, Peter.
I'll say this, just like the other fellas, he never said a word to you. He competed hard, and the officiating was never a focus to him. Winning the game was a focus, playing hard for his teammates, and again, a pleasure to referee.
You played with him and against him.
Yeah, I can remember playing against him in Colorado. The altitude there, it's tough to breathe anyway. And, you know, these guys had talked about his strength on his skates. I don't know what it was, his edges or something. And, you know, he was early in the league. He was putting all these points up, and we had a big game against Colorado. So I'd watched him play, and I'm like, you know, he's probably a guy I can get a good hit on. He holds the puck a lot. You know, I'm gonna catch this little guy one of these games. And so it was in Colorado, and sure enough, early in the period or whatever, he's got the puck and he's protecting the corner. So I take a pretty good run at him, and like Billy says, he does his reverse hit, and he caught me right here. And if you guys ever had the wind knocked out of you and you try to catch your breath, you can't move. Plus, it's in altitude in Colorado. I had to make a skate, I don't know, from one blue line back to the bench. It was probably the hardest skate I had to make. I didn't want to go down, but I wanted to make it back to the bench. But I think it sums up everything that he plays. You know, it was great to play against him, great to see him at different levels. I mean, compete physically, compete skill-wise. The biggest thing for me is whenever the game was on the line or we needed something, he scored those big goals. So a pleasure to play with.
All right, well, we'll let you go next. Are you okay with that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That was.
Okay?
I'm happy we ended up with Blakey here, so I get to hear some good words.
It was a bit rough there for a while. I
yeah,
thought.
it was tough. Yeah.
For Peter, I'm a huge Avalanche fan, and you were talking about all the accolades before, and they go on and on with Peter. But out of all the championships you won, which one means the most, and why?
It's hard, you know. So many. I gotta think. I was just kidding.
Did you say humble, Mike? When you said dirty and vicious, did you mention humble as well?
Got over that. I don't know which one would be the best. It's different eras, and you know, '98 I won the World Championship with my father as a coach. It was special, and 2006 when the Olympics with Sundin and everybody, Lidstrom, that we played together for. I think me and Sundin 14 years in the national team. So it's different things, but. One specific moment would be maybe to score the shootout goal that I remember the most. But I think it's just, you know, it's hard. I enjoyed winning the PV tournament. I was 14. I still remember that. Every time you won something.
So you're actually the quadruple goal club. You've got is it PV tournament?
I don't know, but it's way back. But just winning the last game of the year, and if it's different between winning the Stanley Cup and when you play with the national team. Is the Stanley Cup, you fought with the guys for 9 months. You know, you've been bleeding and been. You know, hurt and whatever, and the national team, you play for your country and you've grown up. So it's a little different. I don't know. For me, it's just unnecessary to say what was the best. I'm sorry.
The most unfair question is Olympic gold medal or Stanley Cup. Which one? You have to pick one.
I do not understand why I have to pick one.
Because I said.
No, they're both good.
Right here, sir. Oh, young fella. How are you?
Good.
What's your name?
Chase.
Hi, Chase. Who would you like to ask a question to?
Peter.
Peter Forsberg. Why not?
What was your memorable moment in your career?
What was your most memorable moment in your career? Olympics or Stanley Cup?
There we go again. Well, but just specific moment would be maybe the shootout goal, because it's ended up being the game-winning goal first time Sweden won the Olympic Games in hockey. So I would have to answer that.
Yes. So young man, long before you were born,
would say
the game was played outdoors. Actually, it was amazing.
Yeah, but that would be the answer. You know, I was on the ice '96. I wasn't on the ice 2001 when we won the Stanley Cup. But it's a lot of. I was part of a lot of good teams and got to win a lot of things. So, but one specific moment would be the shootout there. It was a lot of pressure, and to be honest, I was probably the worst shootout guy ever, and I don't know why they picked me in the first place. And if you look at the shootout goals, I didn't even get the puck in the air. if I would be the
But you had
goalie, I
that,
would
like,
have. Good
it's
thing it
still
was.
called the Forsberg move, right?
No, I stole it from Kent Nilsson in the first place. But thank God, you know, we were talking about it so long ago because, you know, the goalies, there was no video back in the day, so they didn't know that I couldn't get the puck in the air.
Television did exist. Television did exist, by the
But
way.
I want to ask, Peter, like I want to ask you, did you know before you shoot what are you going to do, or when did you make decision?
Well, no, to be honest, I didn't say it in the beginning that I planned it, but I did plan it. If you look at the American broadcast, you can see me doing it by myself a little bit before. And I was actually watching Hirsch. He was coming out because we had, I think, 6 shooters going before me there, and I was kind of watching him how far he came out, and so. And to be honest, I had 2 moves, and I scored the first one in the round robin there, the first shootout, and so I had nothing left. I only had that move, and thank God it worked out.
Do you have one of the stamps? Do you have a copy of the stamp?
Yeah, I do. I do have a few of them, and I send a few to Deadmarsh and a few other friends occasionally.
So really, like millions of Swedes have licked your back. That's amazing.
Throughout your career, could you pick out one particular player that you played on your team that you would say would be the best one?
That I played with?
Yeah.
I answered that yesterday too, and you know, I played with a lot of good players. Whether it came through a bunch of them in Colorado there, and I played with a few in the national team too. But over the long haul, I would say Joe Sakic. You know, he was kind of a
Playing to the Canadian crowd, are you? There you go. Yeah.
Well, he came to practice. He came to the game every single day and pushed himself and awesome. I think everybody that came into Colorado knew they came there to win hockey games, not to play golf and do anything else. They came there to actually win hockey games every single night. And he was also an outstanding player. You know, unbelievable shot. He saw the game well. He skated so hard. I have to say, Joe. You know, he every single night he was outstanding, and I was just glad to be a part of it. And we won the cup twice. The first time he around there, I think he scored maybe 19 goals in the Stanley Cup run there. He was great. Not only as a player, as a man too.
Peter, you were very self-critical. You very rarely said you were happy with your game, but how did you get through the tough times?
No, I don't think like you said, I don't think I said I had ever a good game, but I think when we were struggling, I mean, playing wise, and I think I just come in the next day and work even harder. I think there's no way out except, you know, you got to work it through, and going in the next day and be lazy, it didn't work out. I think it's just coming in, working harder, but it was, you know, teammates help you and stuff like that. But you have to look at yourself too and come in and say, you know, maybe I wasn't focused, maybe I wasn't doing the right things, and just come in and work on a few things and do it even better next time.